Hello, everyone. If you're here looking for the secret to success, I have to be honest with you. It isn't a 10-step formula, it isn't a magic potion, and it definitely isn't something you stumble upon overnight. But if I had to break it down to just one rule, one mindset that has shaped my journey from a small town girl in India to standing on global stages, it's this: own your power. That's the one rule for success. Let me tell you what that really means. Owning your power means knowing exactly who you are, even when the world tries to define you. It means showing up unapologetically with all your flaws, all your fire, all your voice. There were times in my life when I was told I wasn't tall enough, fair enough, thin enough, Indian enough, Western enough, and for a while I believed them. I let those voices drown out my own. But you know what I realized? No one gets to write your narrative unless you hand them the pen. Success doesn't come from trying to fit into someone else's mold. It comes from smashing that mold and building your own space. When you own your power, you stop waiting for permission. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You walk into rooms like you deserve to be there, and trust me, you do, but owning your power also means doing the work. It's not just a mindset, it's a muscle you build. There were days I worked 80-hour shifts, learned new languages, started from scratch in unfamiliar industries, faced rejection after rejection. But every time I fell, I reminded myself, you are not here by accident. You are here because you earned it. This rule doesn't promise you a smooth ride. It doesn't mean you won't face doubts, heartbreaks, or failures. You will. But when you own your power, you find the strength to rise every single time. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the architect of your future. So if you remember nothing else from this speech, remember this: the one rule for success is not to chase perfection or people's approval. It's to believe in yourself so fiercely that nothing, not fear, not failure, not even fate, can shake you. Own your voice, own your journey, own your power, and success won't just follow you, it'll have no choice but to stand aside and let you lead. Owning your power is the foundation of true success. It's not about being loud or aggressive, but about standing firm in who you are, without apology or doubt. It means fully embracing every part of yourself, the strengths, the flaws, the dreams, the scars, and refusing to let the world diminish your worth. So often, people are taught to play small, to wait their turn, to not stand out too much. But real growth only begins when you recognize that your uniqueness is not a weakness, it's your superpower. When you own your power, you stop living on borrowed definitions. You no longer chase someone else's version of success or try to be a copy of what society tells you is acceptable. Instead, you define success on your own terms. This takes courage. It takes the kind of inner strength that keeps you standing tall even when everything around you tries to knock you down. It's about walking into a room and not shrinking to fit the space, but expanding to fill it with everything you bring to the table: your ideas, your talent, your presence. This principle changes everything. It changes how you handle criticism because you know who you are. It changes how you take risks because you trust your instincts. It changes how you respond to setbacks because you're grounded in your purpose. Owning your power gives you clarity. It helps you say no to things that don't serve your growth and yes to the things that challenge and stretch you. Sometimes the world will try to tell you that you're too much or not enough. But when you truly own your power, those opinions lose their grip on you. You stop needing validation and start trusting your vision. You stop being afraid of failure and start seeing it as part of your evolution. You stop settling for safe choices and start chasing bold ones. It's not a switch you flip overnight. It's a daily commitment to showing up as your full self. Some days will test your belief, and some voices will try to silence yours. But the more you choose to stand in your truth, the more powerful you become. And that power isn't about control, it's about freedom. The freedom to live, speak, dream, and create without fear. That's where real success begins. Not in what you achieve, but in how deeply you believe that you deserve to be everything you are. Stop letting others define you, because the moment you hand them that power, you begin to lose yourself. The world is full of voices, opinions, labels, expectations that try to shape who you should be. They tell you how to look, how to speak, what to dream, and even how far you're allowed to go. If you keep listening, you'll find yourself living a life that pleases everyone but you. That's not success, that's surrender, and no one ever reached their full potential by being a reflection of someone else's idea. When you let others define you, you become trapped in their limitations. Maybe someone told you that you weren't smart enough, pretty enough, or talented enough. Maybe they made you feel like you didn't belong, and maybe for a while you believed them. But here's the truth. Those definitions were never yours to accept in the first place. You are not what they say. You are what you choose to be. You are not the roles they assign. You are the identity you claim. Choosing to define yourself takes courage. It means looking inward and discovering what matters to you. It means trusting your own voice over the noise of the crowd. It means understanding that your value doesn't increase or decrease based on someone's opinion. Whether it's a critic, a friend, a parent, or even society itself, none of them get to tell you who you are. You have that right, you own that right. Living by your own definition is an act of rebellion in a world that wants to categorize you. But it's also the only way to live authentically. When you define yourself, your goals become clearer, your passions become louder, and your actions become intentional. You stop chasing the spotlight and start becoming the light. You stop seeking approval and start seeking purpose. There will be resistance. People might not understand your choices. They might question your confidence or criticize your path. But remember, their discomfort is not your problem. You were not born to fit into their box. You were born to build something entirely your own. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. Success starts with self-definition. Before you can win in the world, you must first win within. You must decide with unshakable clarity who you are and who you are becoming. Because once you take ownership of your identity, no one can ever take that power away from you again. You don't need to shrink to fit in. In fact, every time you do, you dim your own light and rob the world of your full potential. There is a deep, often unspoken pressure to conform, to blend in, to be agreeable, to not challenge the status quo. This pressure shows up in subtle ways, holding back your ideas in a meeting, toning down your style to be accepted, or staying silent when your voice deserves to be heard. But the truth is, greatness never comes from playing small. It comes from showing up fully, boldly, and unapologetically. Fitting in might feel safe, but it's also suffocating. It demands that you mold yourself into someone else's vision, and over time, you start to forget your own. You trade authenticity for acceptance, but that acceptance is always conditional. It lasts only as long as you keep pretending. Real belonging doesn't require you to become less. It welcomes you as you are. And if the spaces you're in can't handle your truth, then maybe it's time to build your own space. The world needs people who are not afraid to be different. Innovation, creativity, and leadership are born from those who dare to stand out, not those who try to blend in. When you stop shrinking, you begin to own your presence. You speak with more confidence, walk with more purpose, and act with more intention. You stop measuring your worth by how others react to you and start recognizing that your uniqueness is your strength. It's not always easy to stand out. You may face judgment, rejection, or criticism, but those are just signs that you're doing something worth noticing. People often resist what they don't understand. Don't let that resistance scare you into silence. Let it remind you that your voice has impact. Let it motivate you to stay true to your path. Shrinking yourself to fit in may gain temporary comfort, but it leads to long-term regret. Years from now, you won't remember the people you tried to impress. You'll remember the moments you stood in your truth. You'll remember the chances you took, the risks you embraced, and the fire you chose not to extinguish. So take up space, speak up. Show up as the fullest version of yourself. Your light was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to shine. And when you allow it to, you give others permission to do the same. That's how real success begins, not with fitting in, but with standing tall. Success isn't handed to you because you believe in yourself. It's earned through relentless effort, day in and day out. Believing in your dreams is just the beginning. What transforms belief into reality is your willingness to do the hard work when no one's watching, to keep going when motivation fades, and to stay disciplined when the results don't come right away. No matter how talented or passionate you are, if you don't put in the work, success will remain a fantasy. People often look at the highlight reels of others and assume success happened overnight. They see the red carpets, the applause, the glamorous moments. but they don't see the countless sleepless nights, the early mornings, the failures, and the sacrifices that came before. Every accomplishment is built on hours of preparation and practice that go unnoticed. It's not always glamorous, and it's definitely not always fun, but it's necessary. There is no shortcut to excellence. You have to earn it over and over again. Working relentlessly doesn't mean burning yourself out or losing who you are. It means being committed. It means showing up even on the days you don't feel like it. It means giving your best, not just when things are exciting, but also when they're routine or difficult. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Because while others are waiting for inspiration, you're already putting in the effort that will carry you forward. There will be days when the work feels exhausting, when you doubt whether it's even worth it. But that's when your drive has to kick in. You have to remember why you started, who you're doing it for, and what's waiting for you on the other side of the struggle. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. And each challenge, when faced with grit and determination, strengthens your character. Hard work doesn't guarantee that every door will open, but without it, the doors that do open won't stay open for long. Success is not just about getting opportunities, it's about being ready when they come. It's about being so prepared, so capable, that when the moment arrives, you don't flinch, you rise, you owe it to yourself to give everything you've got. Not halfway, not when it's easy, but always, because in the end, your work ethic becomes your identity. It tells the world that you didn't just dream, you earned your place. And that's what makes success not just possible, but sustainable. Success is not a straight line. It's a path filled with ups and downs, and sometimes the most important lessons come from the falls. Everyone faces failure. Everyone gets rejected, misunderstood, or underestimated at some point. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck or talent. It's the ability to rise after every fall. It's the choice to stand back up when life tries to knock you down. Because no matter how many times you fall, what defines you is how you respond. There's a certain strength that comes only from struggle. When everything is going your way, it's easy to feel confident. But when nothing is working out and you still choose to believe in yourself, that's where resilience is born. Rising after a setback forces you to dig deeper, to discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. You learn to trust your inner voice, to grow thicker skin, and to become your own source of motivation. Those qualities are priceless. They build not just success but character. Some of the most powerful moments in life come after failure, because failure clears the stage, it humbles you. It forces you to reevaluate, to adjust your strategy, to come back stronger and smarter. When things don't go as planned, you have two options: give up or grow up. The ones who rise are the ones who use their pain as fuel. They don't let rejection define their worth. They don't let disappointment drown their dreams. They rise even if it's slow, even if it's hard, even if no one is cheering them on. There will be moments when you'll feel like you're starting from scratch. Moments when everything feels unfair, when you question your path. But remember, rising isn't about bouncing back instantly. It's about continuing, moving forward, step by step, no matter how small. Every comeback starts with the decision to not give in to failure. That's how you build resilience. It's not by avoiding pain, but by refusing to let it break you. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs real ones, people who have been through fire and still shine, people who have been knocked down and chose to rise again and again. That kind of strength can't be taught. It's earned through experience. So when you fall, don't be ashamed, don't hide, use it, learn from it. Let it shape you into someone unstoppable, because the rise is always more powerful than the fall, and the ability to keep rising. That's the true heart of success. You don't need to be perfect to lead, to win, or to be successful. What truly sets people apart is confidence, not the kind that comes from pretending to have it all together, but the kind that comes from owning who you are, flaws and all. Confidence is magnetic. It commands respect, not because you're flawless, but because you're real. When you walk into a room with the belief that you belong there, people feel it. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to be fully present and authentic. Perfection is a myth. It's a trap that keeps you stuck, constantly measuring yourself against impossible standards. The pursuit of it delays action, silences creativity, and kills joy. You don't need to have all the answers before you take the first step. You don't need to be the smartest, the most experienced, or the most polished person in the room. What you need is the courage to show up as you are and trust that you'll figure things out along the way. Confidence is built in motion, not in waiting. Many people hold back because they're afraid of failing or looking foolish, but confidence doesn't mean you won't mess up. It means you won't let those moments define you. Every mistake is a chance to grow. Every stumble is part of the learning curve, and each time you choose to keep going, your confidence strengthens. That's where real leadership is born, in the willingness to try, to fail, and to rise again with your head held high. You don't have to be the best to start, you just have to start with belief. Confidence is about standing in your truth even when it's shaky. It's about owning your voice even when it trembles. When you lead with confidence, people are drawn not just to your strengths but to your vulnerability. Because showing up authentically makes space for others to do the same. Success follows those who lead with presence, not perfection. The most influential people are rarely the ones who did everything right. They're the ones who dared to believe in themselves when it was hardest. So stop waiting to be perfect before you chase your dreams. Show up now, speak up now, begin now. Confidence is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting yourself enough to begin the journey, knowing that whatever comes, you'll rise to meet it. And in that space of bold, imperfect action, success finds you. Thank you.